All right, first things first, if you like my videos, please smash that like button.
Sign up for the STEP program. Yes, the link is below.
Today, we're going to be learning about repetition in programming. It's very important to be able to systematically repeat things with code. Otherwise, we're going to have to write a lot of code, and we're kind of lazy coders, so we want to try to write the least amount of code as possible and do the most amount of work, or actually make the computer do the work. All right, here we are in VidCode, and we're going to look at repetition using JavaScript. In VidCode, in order to print something out, right, we use log. So log, right, and we do the open parentheses, close parentheses, semicolon. And if we wanted to log the number 1, we just put 1 in there, and then down here in the console, you can see it. There's 1 here, right? But we're going to want to log the multiples of 2. So we got to do 2 times 1, right? And if we look at here at the bottom, that's 2, okay? So if we go on, log 2 times 2, no, not that, 2 times 2, 4, you see it there at the bottom, log 2 times 3, right? 6, all of this is correct, obviously, because computers are very smart. 2 times 4. But as you can see, it's a lot of stuff we gotta type. 2 times 5. Great. Right. So this is the long way to write this code. And imagine if we wanted to go up to 100. We wanted to see the multiples of 2's up to 100. That's a lot of stuff to write. It's too much work. So what we need to do is we need to create a for loop. So let's open up a new window here, and I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing with a for loop. So a for loop starts with for, right? Open parentheses, close parentheses. It's going to look something like this. Var I equals 0. I less than 6, right? I plus plus. Okay, in the for loop, there are 3 parts to the loop. There is the initialization, the condition, and the increment. The initialization is how we start the for loop. And in our case, var I equals 0 is how we start. Var just meaning we're creating a variable, and that variable is I, and we're saying I equals 0. The second part is the condition, when I is less than 6. And now the increment, I plus plus. All this means is that you add 1 to the value of I as you iterate through the process, right? So now we have the squirrely brackets, right? Usually you have 2 little squirrely brackets. And within the squirrely brackets is where you actually tell the computer what to do. And what are we going to tell the computer what to do? We're going to say we want to log 2 times I, right? Because we want the multiples of 2. So for 2 times I, it's going to iterate 5 times because it's going to be whenever I is less than 6. So 5 is less than 6. And it's going to iterate through that. And if we look at the console down here, we get it 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And it works. This thing is great. The computer is doing the work for us. And it's the same as we're doing here. We're logging 2 times 1, 2 times 2, 2 times 3, 2 times 4, 2 times 5. It is slightly different. There's no 0 in here because we actually didn't write that out here. But, right, so if we did 2 times 0, there. Now they're exactly the same. 0, so if we look at the bottom, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Over here, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So we were able to write this code and do the same thing as writing everything longhand. Now, this is where the magic is. Imagine we want to see all the multiples up to 100. So what do? We can change this I less than 6 And now we could change it to 101, right? Yeah, because 100 is less than a 101. And now we have all the multiples up to 100. And it doesn't have to be just 2 times I. It could be 3 times I. Now we see all the multiples of 3 up to 100. We could do it 5. We could do 7. We could do anything we want. And that's the beauty of the for loop. We get the computer to do the work for us. It's amazing. All right, so now we will look at how in Unit 2, Lab 1 of Beauty of Joy Computing, dealing with complexity fractal art, and we'll look at how SNAP uses repetition.